Hey trainers, welcome back. I would be pokedad.
I'm the dancing bear at first base.
And I'm pokegolfer.
And today on our deck profile, we've got the tournament winner,
The champion.
Centiskorch Control, which probably surprised a lot of people, but I'm pretty sure pokedad picked it to win the whole tournament.
I thought the other Centiskorch was going to beat it. That's why I didn't pick it, but it was going to be a good pick.
This deck is completely legit, right?
It's
Yes.
super good.
It is awesome. So let's dive in and we can go over why it's greatness and some changes that we might make.
Alright, starting it off, a single Garatina. And then 4 of the Centiskorch, 2 of the VMAX, 1 of Crobat, and 2 Dedenes.
Okay, so the only issue we've had is getting out the VMAX, but this deck is slower. We're not looking to just go aggressive into the VMAX, right?
And just start steamrolling.
Yeah, so this deck focuses on the first attack, which is 20 for 1 fire, and then you have the option to discard a fire to discard an energy attached to your opponent's active. So we're just going to slow them down, wear out their resources, right?
Do some chip damage.
And set up the numbers. And eventually, when we see an opportunity, that's when we evolve to the big guy, and then we just steamroll from there, right?
Or sometimes you have enough energy onto it where you can just do a solid 180 with the second attack and get a KO.
Yeah, because the numbers do work really good in your favor with the 20 initial damage. So if you can get 2 of the 20s and discard 2 of their energies, and then that should give you enough time to go into the 180. So
It's pretty spicy.
yeah, it works out really good. The third VMAX would be the only thing as far as Pokemon that we would like to have, or no?
Yeah.
So possibly the third. So keep that in mind going forward. And again, this is control. So our threat is going to be decks that play like other welder decks are inherently going to be more difficult, that attach more energy than 1 turn. So other decks that run like the Turbo Patch could be a potential problem too. But either way, we have the ability to sacrifice 2 regular Centiskorches and then go into our VMAX and force them to take basically 7 prizes.
Yeah.
Doing it like that. So it's good. It's really good. So that's it for the Pokemon line?
Honestly,
or you got anything else?
most of the time they'll only knock out 1 Centiskorch, and then by then you'll have a VMAX set up on the bench to steamroll.
Yep. So
But I don't think any other Pokemon are needed. I think the only one would be the VMAX. On to items. 4 Quick Balls, 4 Crushing Hammers, 4 Colorful Wheels,
Turbo Patch.
2 Vitality Belts, 2 Pokemon Communication, 2 Switch, 2 Fire Crystal, 2 Tool Scrapper, 1 Paracel, and 1 Fidget Spinner.
So let's go into why I think the most important keys here is the tool scrappers. Because if Paracel is going to be popular, that's going to distract our ability to discard the opponent's energy. So it's important to have the tool scrapper to get rid of opponent's Paracel. On the other hand, our own Paracel is strictly there for basically Dragapult, right?
Dragapult and Vikavolt.
Yep. So, because Vikavolt can put a hurting on us since we are heavily item based, and we don't want Dragapult putting cheesy damage counters on our benched Centiskorches, right?
Yeah.
So that's what it's for. I think everything else is standard. We've got the Crushing Hammers in conjunction with the attack. So, I mean, we could remove potentially 2, if not maybe 3 energy if need be. So the Crushing Hammers, I think, are more there for kind of welder matchups and to counter opponents' turbo patches, right?
It's also good against Dragapult. If they try and set up with just 2 energies on a Dragapult, they put it up. You can only get rid of one, but if you hit that Crushing Hammer, you can get rid of both of them. And then they're going back down to just 60 damage with Shred.
You can tell how respected Dragapult is. Like when we talk in our videos, I mean, just from our testing, Dragapult's been ultra consistent, right?
Oh, for sure.
So it is definitely probably the benchmark standard, but like we've explained before, I think Eternatus is going to push it out of the mix, but still.
Same thing goes with the Eternatus. Hit the Crushing Hammer.
Yep.
Use the attack. Get rid of both the energies on the active.
Absolutely. Fire Crystal mainly there to get back our energies so we can re-welder or get back for the attach for turn, since we are kind of going through energy pretty quickly since we're discarding our own. Vitality Belt, just kind of set up the numbers, because what we like hitting for 30 and then hitting for the 180.
190.
That puts, say they discard the Vitality Belt, we still have the 180 plus the 30, so 210. Most of these V Pokemons are at 210 health.
Hitting a good number there.
So we definitely like the Vitality Belt. Paracel for specific matchups. So, yep. Would you want a third Tool Scrapper or no?
No, but I don't know about the Paracel. It could be a cut. 4 Welder, 3 Boss's Order, 2 Marnie, 2 Research.
Might seem a little weird running all these other supporters along with Welder, but most of them are for disruption purposes, like the Boss's Order. If, like the Dancing Bear said, if your opponent just puts up a Hoopa in the active, and then they're slowly setting up Eternatus on the bench, you want to be able to bring that Eternatus up from the bench to the active, discard, and maybe a Crushing Hammer. So you're looking, and same with Marnie, gonna want to disrupt them, but you have the acceleration with Welder when needed. So
Welder's there for going aggressive and putting energies on your Centiskorch. That way you're able to discard them.
Yep. Anything else on the supporters?
No. And then we got 2 Giant Hearth.
2, that's really all that's needed. We play a high count of fire, so I mean, you're always going to have fire in your hand or discard pile that you can get back with Fire Crystal. So, I mean, most of the time when we put down Giant Hearth, we're going to immediately use its ability.
Put it down. Normally it sticks for at least a while.
So, alright.
This deck it's really tight. Running all the items and then a lot of energies. Got 3, 6, 9 regular, and then 4 of the special.
The special, in case you're not aware, it adds 20 health. So it makes our Centiskorches a little beefier. So they can tank a few hits, turn maybe what would be a 1-hit KO into a 2-hit KO. And again, we're able to run them out of resources because of that extra health. We can do the attack the next turn to get rid of their energy. So,
and it helps against Zigzagoons too.
Yep.
If you attach it, then they gotta play them even more, waste resources. I like it.
I have been completely impressed with this deck, and I absolutely would take this to a tournament.
I would too.
Yeah.
I would possibly dive into the Paracel if it's really needed, and that could be the 3rd VMAX.
Could be the 3rd VMAX, the 3rd Giant Hearth, could be the 3rd Tool Scrapper. The deck's super tight. You're just going to have to find what you want where, what gets cut, what gets added.
It won our tournament, but what would you see its most difficult matchup being?
Well,
I think maybe Dragapult would be its most difficult since it's so energy efficient. with all of its attacks and 1 retreat cost.
I think Eternatus could be hard if they're just putting up a Hoopa and setting it up on the bench. Just an Eternatus, and then whenever it's fully powered up, they bring it in, and it comes to do the big numbers.
Yeah, I could see it being an issue, especially if the Eternatus player plays possibly like 2 ordinary rods to get back 2 Pokemon and 2 energies, that sort of stuff. But I think by the time they're doing that, you've got a huge Centiskorch built up on the bench where you're able to almost one-hit KO their Eternatus.
Yeah, if they're setting up on the bench, like, I'm just going to play really slow. You can turbo and put a Centiskorch VMAX on the bench, power it up, and then bring up the big dude on the bench to get one-hit KO.
So would you say this is probably, from what we've tested so far, would you say that this is the number 1 deck? Would you say our tournament was pretty accurate?
Yeah.
I would have to agree. Where are you at with that Poke Golfer?
I would agree with that.
Did you take it to a tournament?
Yes.
And it's so unusual. You know, most people probably thought we were out of our minds when we said Centiskorch Control. What is that? But
Fire Pokemon that can be controlling?
I mean, it may not be the best deck in the format, but I'm telling you right now, if there's a way to play Centiskorch, it's exactly right there in front of you.
I like it better than the Turbo.
Yep. More, I think it just really adds to all the different matchups. So, you got anything else, fellas?
That's it for me.
Me too.
All right. Till next time, be excellent to each other.